Hello everyone! For today's video, we are going to explore the Heart Island, the Boldt Castle, and the surrounding area. The history behind this castle is very interesting and heartbreaking. So join us as we explore the area. At the turn of the century, George Boldt, millionaire proprietor of the world-famous Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, set out to build a full-size Rhineland castle in Alexandria Bay on a picturesque Heart Island. The grandiose structure was to be a display of his love for his wife, Louise. Beginning in 1900, the Boldt family spent summers in the 1,000 Islands at the Boldt family house near Mr. Boldt's island farms, while 300 workers including stonemasons, carpenters, and artists fashioned the 6-story, a 120-room castle, complete with tunnels, powerhouse, Italian garden, a drawbridge, Ulster Tower, and a dovecote. The castle is accessible by water taxi, tour boats, and private boat. It is open for self-guided tours from mid-May through mid-October. I think the best month to visit this castle is October because the colors of the trees are so beautiful. The 5-acre island is fully handicap accessible, has complete restroom facilities, extensive docking for private boats, several picnic areas, a gift shop, and food and beverage concession. This is the docking area if you are from US side and you don't need a passport to enter into the castle. However, if you are taking cruise ship from the Canada side, you need a passport. In January 1904, tragedy struck. Boldt telegraphed the island and commanded the workers to immediately stop all construction. Louise had died suddenly. A broken-hearted Boldt could not imagine his dream castle without his beloved. Boldt never returned to the island, leaving behind the structure as a monument of his love. For 73 years, the castle and the various stone structures were left to the mercy of the wind, rain, ice, snow, and vandals. When the Thousand Islands Bridge Authority acquired the property in 1977, it was decided that through the use of all the net revenues from the castle operation, it would be preserved for the enjoyment of the future generations. Since 1977, several $1 million have been applied to rehabilitating, restoring, and improving the Heart Island structures. As soon as you walk through the veranda, you will pass all these benches with engraved heart on the back. George placed heart everywhere, from the gardens to the castle stoneworks. And this is the main entrance of the castle. As soon as you enter, you will see to the right is the portrait of George Boldt and family. And this is the main floor of the castle, the grand hall. But we'll come back to this area later. To the left side is the billiard hall and the reception area. The reception area has been beautifully restored. As you can see, the ceilings are well done. But you can see a picture on the stand here showing what the room looked like before the restoration. library has a warm, childlike atmosphere. It has a mahogany wainscoted walls with hand-carved images from the fairy tales, including the genie lamp, pirate ship, and the Boldt Castle itself. Louise loved ballroom dancing. That's why George created this hub for her to enjoy and her visitors as well. The ballroom is one of the most elaborate spaces in the castle, adorned with the state-of-the-art crown molding and designed with dramatic lightings. There's an organ here, and it really shows that the Boldt family loves music, because as we proceed to the grand hall, there's also a piano here. This is a 6-story building, so for those who are unable to use the stairs, you can use the elevator here. The butler's pantry. It has a nice cabinet where they kept samples of Boldt's china collection, and most of the pieces are hand-painted. And let's go to the main dining area. So the chairs and the long table here are originally owned by the Boldt family, and it was donated by the granddaughter of George Boldt. Everything else has been restored and reconstructed based on the original plans and period styles, from the wainscoted walls to the lighting, paint, and fabric. I like this part. There's a doorway out here to the veranda. The veranda is very spacious, and there's a fireplace at the center. Very ideal place for outdoor activities, especially if it is raining. If you come here and wants to support the ongoing restoration of the castle, there's a donation box here. The soaring grand hall is beautifully renovated. However, 30 years before the restoration, the stained glass dome was only an empty steel frame. The Italian Carrara marble staircase and floors had never been installed, and the subfloor was covered in dirt. Fortunately, part of the original plaster ceilings had been completed and somehow survived the years of abandonment. These allow contractors to cast molds and finish the job. So let's proceed to the second floor, where we can see the rooms of the Boldts and also a gift shop and theater. The Grand Hall embodies everything Louise meant to George. Despite their wealth, they came from a lower middle-class families. Old Money Society happily stayed in George's hotel but never considered the Boldt's true equals. None of that mattered on Hart Island. George was determined to build Louise a home more splendid than the upper crust dared to imagine. This is George's suite, so it's very simple as you can see, and you might wonder why this room has only one single bed. Well, wealthy married couples often had separate bedrooms. So Louise would have been slept next door. Louise's bedroom is larger than her husband's and charmingly decorated in pale Marlborough blue, and George allotted a fine bedroom to his wife on the assumption that she'd spend a great deal of time here due to her fragile health. Next to Louise's suite is her private bathroom. So it was renovated to show the indoor plumbing in the early 1900s. The next room is Clover's room, the only daughter of George and Louise. Next to Clover's room is her own reception room. She was almost grown woman when George started planning the castle. He realized that she needed a private place to entertain guests, including suitors. Her reception room will also provide her a place to relax, read, write, and practice music. Very nice painting. Let's proceed to the theater. And this is where you can see a 15-minute video showing the lifestyle of George and Louise Boldt, along with the history of the 1000 Islands region and the restoration effort of the Hart Island. This is the third floor of the building where you can see the original construction, some artifacts, photographs, along with the exhibit on the history of the Thousand Islands and the Waldorf Astoria. You'll also see an array of period photographs here. And the apartment suite of George Jr. supposed to be constructed on this floor. After exploring and lots of reading on the third floor, we did not go to the upper floor as it is still unfinished and I feel like the floor was shaking. So we proceeded to the basement. And then here, It's a little bit creepy for me also, so we did not really explore the area. But we saw an indoor pool. It's just like a wishing well. It's full of coins, and this one is facing to the Alexandria Bay. And this is where the tunnel going to the powerhouse and the play house or the Ulster Tower. And now, let's explore the surrounding area of the castle. Let's go to the powerhouse. The powerhouse and the clock tower is the most photographed structure of Boldt Castle. Located on the eastern end of the Heart Island, it was designed in the fashion of medieval tower. And today it stands as George Boldt had originally intended, rising out of St. Lawrence River from an underwater shoal. It housed 2 generators that would supply electricity to the entire island. Unfortunately, much of the original equipment has been lost. Only a few pieces remain on display. Today, there are also photos and displays depicting the lifestyle of the people in the 1,000 islands at the turn of the century. The Ulster Tower is often referred to as the Playhouse. Completed in 1899, the Ulster Tower is the most architecturally unique structure on Heart Island. With a 2-lane bowling alley, kitchen, billiard room, Venetian room, a library, shell room, and theater, George Boldt wanted to create the ideal atmosphere for recreational activities. Unlike the main castle, the Boldt family actually used the tower up until the time of Louis's death in 1904. Close to the Ulster Tower is the entry arch. Modeled after Roman monuments, this water gate stands 25 feet high and 20 feet long and was to be a formal entry for launches, delivering guests from larger yachts anchored in a deep water, friends and other islands, and visitors from the mainland. The Dovecote, also known as the Henry, was the first structure built on the island. This was where George Boldt housed his collection of fancy fowl. With a 60-foot tower, there was plenty of room for his birds to stretch their wings. This side of the castle is very popular for wedding venues, so we were not able to see inside because there was a wedding ceremony during our visit. There's also a beautiful Italian garden on the back of the Dovecote. After exploring the Boldt Castle, let's proceed to the Yacht House. It is located on the northeast shore of Wellesley Island, adjacent to the Boldt Castle. It was commissioned by George Boldt to house the many watercraft he owned. The Yacht House was designed by a Philadelphia architect, and built in 1903. It is massive, eclectic, shingle-styled structure composed of 5 elements, which are a circular tower containing reception rooms, a central group of 3 yacht bays, a large east yacht bay, a combination office and storage wing with a crenellated tower, and a large caretaker's residence. The yacht house was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1978. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this video helps you a little bit of what to expect if you are planning to visit the castle. And to all my subscribers, thank you very much for all your support. Maraming salamat po. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.